Hi guys, welcome to Algotrading and welcome to lesson 2 of our creating a crypto EA from scratch. This lesson we're going to be talking about price data. So let's get into it. Right, in the previous lesson I actually didn't show you guys how to get to your meta editor. So that's quite a big step. So if you want to get your editor, either you could go to one of your EAs, you right click and you say modify, or you could go to your tools, click MetaQuotes language editor, or you could press F4. That's how you get to your editor. Alright, so let me just delete this because I did a whole video and didn't realize that I was not recording. So we're going to redo this. Okay, so in this video I'm going to talk about how to work with price data. Now price data is very important to work with because you always need to know, is the high lower than the previous high, is the low lower than the previous low. You know, there's lots of things that you could do with price data. You can work out candlestick patterns with it. There's many ways to work with price data, but I'm going to show you the way I use because I think it's the cleanest way of working with price data, and you know, and also you could specify how many candles you want to work with. So I'm going to declare a new variable here. We're going to call it input. It's going to be integer. We're going to keep with our structure. Go imp underscore number of candles. And we're going to set the default value to 3. Let's just set it to 3. And number of candles to work with. And okay, so we're going to get our number of candles to work with. Now I'm going to, again, like before in the previous tutorial, we're going to move it into a function that keeps our onTick function clean. And over here. Okay, so there's two concepts here that we need to learn. The first one is the concept of arrays. Now arrays is essentially a collection of data. The thing about arrays that they start counting from 0, not from 1. So if you want to work with, say, the current record, that will always be 0. The record before that is 1. The record before that is 2, etc., etc. So arrays are used very often in MT5, and especially when working with price data. So in order to declare an array of rates, we have to use a built-in identifier called MQL5 rates, or MQL rates. So we're going to go MQL rates, and we're just going to call our variable rates, and the variable is an array. So when you put these little square brackets next to your variable name, that is indicating that is an array, and it's going to be used to store data in it. Now what I like to do is put in a if statement just to make sure that we do have, so if we want to work with 10 candles, we want to make sure that we have 10 candles in the array, because, like, you know, when you start the EA, it only starts counting from the time you start it. So it needs to wait for 10 candles to load before it can actually start working with those data. So what we need to do, we first need to do if statement. Now if statements also used very often, very basic concept. You've got an if something open else something else, but we're not going to do else in this case. We're just going to do if. So now we're going to say what we need to do now is we need to copy the rates, get the rates from MQL5 and copy them to our rates variable. So how you do that, you say copy rates, and we need to say, so the first parameter of copy rates is what the symbol name is. So you just go symbol. Then we need to say which period. So you can either put a 0 or you just say period current. Our starting position will always be 0. Or if you want to, you could say I want from 1 to 10. So it will bring back 9 candles. But you want to bring back the current candle, which is 0. So your starting position, and how many candles we're actually going to get is our INP number of candles. So now we're just checking now, do we have all those candles in the array? So we're going to say, so if copy rates is less than the number of candles we actually want, then just return from the function. Don't do anything. Okay, we use our styler to make it look nice. So now what we're doing is we're saying, oh, sorry, I need to add rates here. Because now what we're doing, we're copying the rates for that symbol, for that period, starting at 0, we're going to the number of candles that we want, and we're going to copy it to our rates variable. And we're just checking if the number of rates is less than the number of candles we actually want, then just return out of this function and come back on the next tick to see if we have all the price data we need. Okay. So now we have our rates data. Now our rates data, we can now do whatever we want with it. So we could say, for instance, let's just print out something. So we're going to print the current, this is a string now, so if we're going to say the current candle open, so we want to know what the open of the current candle is, then we just say plus rates 0, which means it's the current candle dot open. So now we've got access to the open, high, low, and close. We've actually got the spread, the tick volume, the time, everything you need here, but we've actually got now access to the close, the high, the low, and the open. So that makes it very cool to work with, price data. So if you want to check if the previous candle's close is higher than the close of the candle before that, you can now do that. So you could also create use candlestick patterns. So you could say if the low is the low of the previous candle, or candle 1 is lower than the other low, and the high is higher than the other low, then you've got a bullish engulfing pattern. Or you could do any sort of candlestick patterns that you want now, because you have all the data to work with. So we're going to say a current candle open, and then what we want to do is we want to get the previous candle. Let's look at the high of that one. So the previous candle before the current candle is 1 dot high, and the candle before that now, I'm not going to type all out again, and the candle before that now is candle 2. So the previous candle, so let's just say the third candle, and that's rates 2. And what do we want of the previous candle? Let's just say we've got the high of that one. Let's just say the low of the candle before that. Okay, so let's compile that. Semicolon expected. Don't forget your semicolons. Okay, so now we're going to go back into our trading terminal. We're going to, if in case you missed this step from previously, you're going to right click, you're going to say test. By the way, I'm running this on the Bybit platform, but this will work in any MT5 terminal. It will work in all MT5 terminals, but I'm specifically doing this on the Bybit platform because we are writing a crypto EA, and what better place to write a crypto EA than on the Bybit terminal. So we're setting our visual mode on. We run a backtester. We're just running on the 5-minute chart, and we're going to run that so we can actually see the backtest as it's happening. And let's start. So you can see the current candle, the open is 63492. The previous candle's high was 63404, and the third candle is the high was 6320. You can see you've got the you've got the price data for this candle that's currently running, the candle before that, and the candle before that. So let's do something now with that data. I'm just going to stop that, close. So let's go back into our editor here, and we're going to do another if statement. So I'm going to show you how an if-else statement works. So if rates 1 dot close is greater than rates 2 dot close, then we're going to print we're bullish, because the close of this candle is of the previous candle is greater than the close of the candle before it. Else, what we're going to do, we're going to print out that we're bearish. Okay, let's go back into our strategy tester, and we're going to run it again. Let's put it a little bit faster. Okay, so we're bearish. We're bearish. Now we're turning bullish. Now we're bearish again. Now we're bullish. Now bearish. Look, we're only looking at the price of the last two candles, but now we're bullish. Oh, they return bearish again. So you could see that's basically the concept of that. Alright, let's stop that. Let's go back to our editor. So we've learned some important lessons here. We learned about arrays, and then how to copy the price data into that rates array. We've discussed how we could compare rates from the candle to the candle before it. Just so you know, I want you to, well, we did actually explain it, that the current rates is always 0, the candle before that is 1, and the candle before that is 2, and so on and so on and so on. You know, up to 100 candles if you want. You could actually write a loop statement if you want to loop through that, but you know, that's for another lesson. So what we've discussed in this lesson is the built-in MQL rates identifier. We've got a rates array. We've copied those rates into that array. We've showed you how to check if we've got the right amount of data in that array. We've showed you how to compare two candles, and then also that we have access, once we've done this rates array, we've actually got access to all of the candles information. So cool. Hope you enjoyed the video. From the next video, we're going to be starting with our starter template. I think we've covered enough basic concept to be able to go into our starter template and actually start building our algo from scratch. Well, not from scratch, but no, we're gonna have a little bit of a kickstart, but we're gonna start building our algo from then. So check the description below. Join our Telegram group. If you join our Telegram group now, you could go and get our starter template. It's available in our set files downloads. And check the links below, check out the website, check out our ready-made EAs, and hope to see you guys soon. Cheers.